I don't remember doing too much with cars when I was a young child. I didn't play with little cars or anything. But I think about the time I turned 12, 14, somewhere in there, for some reason, something clicked, and I could, like most young boys, could identify the cars when they went by. And my mother was a teacher, art teacher, and I would start to draw, and I suppose I was drawing other things, animals and everything else, and all of a sudden, started to draw the cars that I could recognize. So the earliest I remember was probably around the beginning of a teenager. Of course, the 4 years at Art Center going to college, where they taught me how to draw cars, of course, got me to the point where I could design cars the way that was supposed to have been done. And then we went to Ford and worked on the Mustang and the Fairlane, and then I went into some studios that were dream studios, and that was fun, of course, to get the dream, the crazy cars. I did a couple show cars, and I probably would have stayed. Everybody said everything was okay, but I couldn't ride my motorcycle or drive my hot rod in the winter, so I said, no, I gotta go back to California. They basically let me do anything, which was great, because I worked at Ford and all I did was, door handles and taillights and little things like that, but never did the whole car. So the first project was, I said, I'm going to do a sports car, because I want to do a sports car. So the car was called a Tri-Baby, because when you opened the trunk, there were 3 jet engines in it. And so we called it the Tri-Baby. I didn't name cars back then, so you can't blame that one on me, but we had a department that named. So I wanted to do a sports car, and in the very beginning we did them just like Detroit, clay model, and then make a mold and go from there. Very soon after that they switched to wood models, but it's the same thing. You do 4 times up, I will tell you, if you had seen my presentation, it basically was that this is how it was done for me for 39 years. First we put drawings on the wall, ideas and real cars and everything, and then we go back and forth and pick the ones we like and narrow it down to X amount of cars for the year. Now, when I was there by myself, that was no problem, because I just would pick the cars I liked and that would be it. Now, we have so many designers and people marketing that come in and everything, so it's a little more people picking the cars, so it's changed a little bit there. The next step is to do the drawings, if it's a dream car or if it's a hot rod or something, because you want to change it a little bit to make it more Hot Wheel. And then the next step after that is start the engineering drawings. You have to do a top view, side view, front view, back view, to get the feeling, an exploded view with all the parts, and then you have to draw all the parts with the detail in it. And then you send those to the pattern maker, and then the pattern maker makes the parts out of wood. And then after the parts are approved, made out of wood, you reduce those down to the actual size to make the tools. Now, computers come in. Now we look on the screen of the computer, and you move the car around, take it apart, and look at it. So there is no real car, no wood pattern, no nothing, Then we have a machine called an SLA, and it makes, from the computer, it makes the car. So the first time we see the car, it's actual size. And then you can go back in the computer if the wheels don't fit right or something, you can change it a little bit. And then the computer makes the tools. So you don't have the model maker making the wood and making it smaller through the time. So it saves quite a bit of time.
How long does it take, this whole process?
I used to say it took a year.
A year.
From idea on the wall to on the shelf. Now it's probably down to 8, 9 months maybe. Well, that's easy, because designing a real car, it takes forever. I mean, you work a month on the grill, you work on taillights, you work on little things, and somebody else is doing the interior and everything. With a Hot Wheel, you can literally do a car in a week or 2. Mostly the idea. You can come up with a sketch on the wall and say that's what. But I don't have patience to. I say that, but I work on hot rods, and it takes 5 years. But I don't have the patience to sit there and just do the grill after grill after grill. Some of the early alphas.
Such as?
I'm not into the models, but the ones with the covered rear wheels, skirts, probably 30s. The Bugattis, of course. I was always a fan of the Ford GT, the street version.
Oh, yes.
Some of the early McLaren race cars, the Can-Am cars, of course. And, you know, you have to always go back to the classics. The 32 Ford, and again, the 49 Mercury would be a classic. You go out in the street and the cars are also beautiful, you know. I mean, they all begin to look alike, you know. I mean, a Nissan and a Ford and a Toyota, they're all just little differences, you know. And it would be hard to be a designer now because the way I was taught to make the car look beautiful. Now, some of the cars are getting, or motorcycles mostly, are getting broken into pieces, you know. They're getting kind of wild looking. And that's a different approach. I was never taught that way to draw. I was always taught front to rear, smooth, you know. And the fact, the bigger the car, the easier it was to do because it would be nice and smooth. So it'd be tough being a car designer now. That's why I'm glad I'm a Hot Wheels designer, because I can do crazy things. Like I said, I've never seen Renaults and Peugeots out, you know, at home. But even Renaults and Peugeots are not a radical car. You actually have to look for the logo to say, you know, that is, the Prius is a good example. Terrible. Not a good car for a car guy, but at least you can spot them. You know, it's easy to say, oh, there goes a, you know, a Prius. Again, smooth and streamlined. But I'd like to see some. That's why I like hot rods and customs, because people do little details on them and change them. It's always different than somebody else's. So that's what I like about that. The only thing I've really seen, you make a little pickup truck. A Chevy makes it, and a few other companies make a little truck. It's
yes.
And now we don't have anything like that. And it's got a nice shape to it. Could be you know, with a big engine in the back or something. But those small pickups are interesting because we don't have anything like that. We used to have the El Camino, and they don't have it anymore.
Yes.
I just picked up a magazine, and it had a four-wheel drive truck, and I'm not sure whose it was, but it was jacked up in the air a little bit and a little bit bigger, and kind of had a roll bar and everything. And I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. My version is if somebody's walking down the street and they go, wow, did you see that? That's got to be a Hot Wheel. Another thing we could use would be some Brazilian graphics. Now we can take any car we have. I mean, we got the Mustang, the Maverick. You guys had the Maverick. Because any Volkswagen we do is popular, you know, as you know.
It was launched in 1972, and nowadays Volkswagen of Germany has one of these cars in its museum.
In the museum?
Yes.
Do you see these on the street at all?
No, it's really rare to see.
Right, it's a collector car now.
Yes, yes.
But everybody would know if you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
What do you think about this car?
Yeah, see, that's...
Good looking.
If that drove by, people would turn their heads, right? Yeah.
Yes.
The only problem with this is if it's Hot Wheel size, it won't look much different than a Jeep.
Yes.
See, one of the things about Hot Wheels is I like to be able to put them, 2 or 3 of them on the end of the table, turn around and say, oh, I know what that is, I know what that is. And this would do it probably. This, again, a little bit too much like a Jeep. Up to this point, I think it is a Volkswagen I've seen before. But I think it was fastback when in the U.S. The problem with this one is because of the box shape, you put it far away, a Jetta, you know, or you know, all the different boxes that look the same. But again, the front end is what makes it a VW.
Yes.
Well, actually, some Hot Wheels collectors, they build by themselves.
Oh yeah, one guy showed me that. In fact, yeah. So that's your Impala. Huh?
Yes.
Is this a V8 or 6?
No, it's 6.
I see the
6
6
cylinder. Yes.
But that's an Impala, huh?
Yes, it was based in Impala and Chevy Nova as well.
Yeah, I can kind of see the Chevy Nova except for that curve there. You know, up to that point it looks like a Chevy Nova. Of course, this looks like, yeah, that would be a good one. That'd be a real good one.
And did you tell him about the wagon version?
No.
Oh, you had a wagon?
There was a wagon.
2-door?
Version.
Two-door.
Oh,
Two-door.
that'd be,
Only 2-door.
Only 2-door.
that would be nice.
Caravan.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
That one is Volkswagen Gol. It is. It is the best seller in Brazil.
Oh, this was.
Since 1986.
Okay.
In history.
In history,
Yeah.
yes.
So this lasted a long time. Huh?
Yes, and actually
This shape lasted almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years, yeah.
Again, I see the Volkswagen, U.S. Volkswagen in there.
And here we have Ford Corcel.
Yeah, it's the old Maverick.
Yes, actually this car was built by Renault with Ford.
Oh, really?
Remember that by the end of your lecture, collectors started asking things, and most of them asked you about Brazilian cars.
Brazilian cars, right.
And two models that Victor showed you were models that they asked you
Okay,
to
okay.
think about.
Opala and
Opala and Brasilia.
Opala and
Okay.
Brasilia. That's these two.
Okay.
Opala and Brasilia.